The floor is Vasilevich Veronika, and her speech, "I will buy a pair of red shoes."
Respected members of the jury, dear participants, good afternoon. At first, I wanted to talk about something worldwide, global, but then it dawned on me that each of us is a small, unique planet. So to make the world around us better, maybe we should start with ourselves. At the age of 11, I asked myself, what makes success? And started passionately looking for the answer. I wondered, why is this girl doing so well at school? And the answer was, she is just gifted. I asked, why is he so rich? And I was told, he is just a lucky man, or sometimes he has stolen his money. Can you be satisfied with such explanations? Me, neither. I felt that behind all these visible achievements, there is something more, something invisible, something that helps people rise in the world. I'm sure that each of you knows the answer. Undoubtedly, I'm speaking about actions. Personally, I realized the amazing power of actions after I met some people who had proved that words are empty without actions to support them. My nearest and dearest taught me this. Take my uncle, for example. He started his career with selling books in the subway. But one day, he promised his family that they would always live well, that he would do his utmost to be a success. And this man isn't the sort of person who is all talk and no cider. He investigated the cases of successful people, adopted their methods, and turned them into life. And what do you think? He's become the owner of a well-known, incredibly successful publishing company. Now I know for sure, winners aren't talkers, they are doers. My mom seldom discusses what a happy family is like or how to make one happy. I'm just a witness of her skillful ways with my father, her talented techniques of bringing up my sister and me, her respectful attitude towards people around. She got to the top in her career, she copes with all the work about the house, and can you imagine, she even finds time to live for herself. There's no sense in words, if they are mere words. My mom sets me an excellent example by her deeds, day after day. You know, only yesterday night my father was talking with someone on the phone and I heard his fantastic words. He said, "I'm not afraid of problems, I solve them." So, as you can see, examples of decisive actions can be found really everywhere. As for me, I'm keen on reading instructive books, asking questions, watching films about outstanding people and their great accomplishments. In learning their courses of life, I realized that all of them were action takers. For instance, Gandhi didn't talk about the independence of India, he gained it. Edison didn't just want to illuminate the world, he did that, he invented the bulb. Helen Keller was deaf and blind, but she overcame these obstacles and became one of the most admired women in the world. You know, I've got the difference between winners and losers. Winners don't wait for the right moments, they create them themselves. They don't choose roundabout ways, they take direct routes. What we all need to understand is that only actions can turn everything into real things. Words are not enough. Some people think that success is easy, that it just comes like a bolt from the blue. But it's far from it. Behind big and small victories, we'll always find lots of efforts and a great deal of hard work. Ray Kroc, the founder of McDonald's, once said, "I did wake up one night successful and rich, but 10 years is a very long night." So let's remember that the word success comes before work, only in a dictionary. Personally, I decided to follow Gandhi's advice and became a change that I wanted to see in my life. I asked myself what I wanted to achieve in my studies, in my private life, in relations with people. I even set a challenging target, to get a pair of red high-heeled shoes, to feel brighter and more confident. Now I've started fulfilling my plans. I have always intended to be sportish, and heaven was praised. I know for sure that the phrase, "I'll get down to exercises on Monday," never works. So I've signed up for yoga and taken up fitness. And now I feel great satisfaction because I'm taking care of my health. And luckily, my waist has become thinner. I studied hard to enter the university, and after entering it, I set a goal to use any opportunity to improve and develop my language and presentation skills. Maybe just that very aim has led me here, to this contest. In the desert land, there is an amazing proverb. A promise is a cloud, fulfillment is rain. Now I'm dancing in the rain, and it's really wonderful. But there's still one unfulfilled plan. Though I'll do it. I'll buy a pair of red shoes.
Questions, please?
Veronika, thank you for your speech. You said that winners aren't talkers, but what would you say about Oprah Winfrey? She did her career by talking.
But first of all, she started with training herself to how to speak efficiently, to prove that her words really count. So I think that she did lots of work to become one of the most important and popular women in the world, that people hear and listen to her words.
Thank you. Any more questions? Judges. Members of the judging committee, please. Anyone? Yes, please.
Diana Zubari, thank you for your speech. I'd like to ask you a question. What if you have no strength, no maybe desire, no inspiration to take this action, or maybe you are too tired and too exhausted to try every day? What will be your piece of advice to overcome this?
Thank you for your question. I think that we just need to look around and find people who can always support you and tell that you can do it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Nikita Stezhnev again. What would you suggest to an old person who do not have that, for example, 10 years night to achieve their dreams?
Thank you very much for the question. You know, there was an old woman who decided to enter my university, MSLU, and at the age of 16, she tried to do this. And probably she didn't pass her exams, but she tried, and it was real success, I think. It was a great accomplishment already.
Thank you. Thank you. And now, please welcome Kryukova Vasilisa and her speech, Charity Begins at Home.
Good day, dear friends. I'm very glad to see here so many smart people. You all look nice and happy, but life is not all cakes and ale. We are all suffering from problems of our own. Especially today, when life is difficult to stay a human being. Our society needs people who are merciful, generous, people who can sympathize especially with those who have handicapped children. I'm preoccupied with the issue of disabled people, and the message of my speech today is to join you with the problem. You know, there is a child fund in Belarus whose specialists help people with disabilities, and over the years they have helped more than 1,000 children, and the fund needs our help to continue. Charity appeals. But have you ever faced such problem? Have you got any idea what it is? And you? Maybe you. I'm also quite confused. Life is unpredictable, isn't it? My close friend happened to face a problem of a sick child. Can you imagine how Natalie felt when the doctor came to her with a scared look on his face to tell her that her daughter was born with Down syndrome? My friend Natalie had never heard of this condition, and for the next 3 days she was bombarded with doctors' stories that such children do not walk, do not talk, can never have a family, and are condemned to be in vegetables. What's more, the doctors were persistently trying to talk Natalie into leaving her baby at the maternity hospital. But with the support of her parents and her husband, she decided to keep the baby. Although the decision to keep her daughter, Vera, was firm, it was still very difficult. Just a few months after the birth of Vera, her husband was diagnosed with schizophrenia and was no longer capable of taking care of them. From that time, Natalie's parents became her only support. Of course, nearest and dearest loved the girl, but at the same time, they couldn't accept her as she was. For them it seemed like there was no future for such children and for their little granddaughter. But acceptance came with the participation in the course Leadership Without Limitations. Natalie started taking part in trainings, and after that, she was chosen a representative of local organizations through MOOC. which counts 235 children. You see, they are few in numbers, but the problem is really large. Do you agree? My friend realized that opportunities exist. After finishing the course, Natalie decided to make her own contribution to this problem. So, she conducted another training on stereotypes existing around people with disabilities. And the results were absolutely fantastic. Just imagine, close your eyes. A handicapped man who had been sitting at home for 5 years became a driver, and now he has his own business. Then, the organization through MOC created a theater for both healthy and disabled children. Their performances are great, you should see them. And that's not so. A website was created which is visited by a great amount of people. And the last thing is that Natalie is interested in photography and is planning to make series of photos of children that will live in her hometown Polsk with Down syndrome. This is an awful disease, and the main idea of this photo session is to show that these children are also beautiful and they have all the rights to be treated with love and respect. But what can one do? Charity and generosity begins at home. Unfortunately, there are a lot of families who refuse to keep babies with disabilities. But what will be the result? They would probably die. But why? Where is our compassion? Maternity hospitals are full of sick babies. They need our love and care so much. Are you ready to make a step to join the activity? I have made my choice. And you? I personally know a family who has 4 babies and they don't want to stop. They have adopted 2 children with Down syndrome to bring them up in a proper way, and they are not alone. So handsome is the